What is good in the hood? Last video ended. Bro, the last video ended blowing up just because I was in Femboy clothes, bro. That's so funny. It got like 200 views. I guess my whole audience is full of gooners. Have you ever had a gaming session where you're playing for hours and hours on end and you completely forget about everything that exists and you are so focused and so immersed that 6 hours just go by and you didn't even realize it? And then when you get off the game, you wonder to yourself, why the fuck can I not do this in real life? Why the fuck can I not put this energy, this effort? Because we know this. Video games take so much effort, especially competitive video games. They take so much time and energy. But then when it comes to real life, you can't do the same thing. Why is that? And I personally believe we struggle to get those same emotions from real life because we don't understand the game. We don't understand how it works, and we don't understand how can we get the same exact emotions from video games out of life. So in this video, I want to explore this idea. In this video, we're going to be basically breaking down the game of life and how fucking sick this shit is when you start looking at it from this angle. Life is usually boring as fuck, but once you start seeing it from this angle, it becomes so exciting and so fun to think about your goals and your life and your future, And this video is made by someone who have spent tens of thousands, probably not tens of thousands, but thousands of hours, at least 10,000 of hours on games like Fortnite, Brawlhalla, Genshin Impact, and Elden Ring. I've put at least minimum 10,000 hours into these 4 games, okay? So I've seen a lot of YouTube videos discussing this idea of like making life into a video game, and they're all dog shit. They're all so bad because they're all from like these 40-year-old fucking dudes who have never played video games like me and you did, and you can tell like they don't know what they're talking about. But for me, trust me when I say this, if there is one thing I know in life, it's gaming, it's games, okay? So let's begin. Start off with the first section of the video, which is the introduction to the game. What kind of game is it? What do you exactly do, and how does it work? Okay, so I'm gonna sound like a nerd in this video, right? But I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm gonna sound like a geek, but I love this shit. I love being a fucking nerd. Let me look how am I fucking dressed, right? I love this shit. I don't care if you call me a geek, right? It's an MMORPG. I can't believe I said that. MMORPG game, right? Sandbox, open world, and the spawn, right? When you spawn in life, you get put in a random fucking place, and all of your stats are random, like your family, your upbringing, your spot, where you spawn, and all of that shit is completely random, and you have no choice over it, okay? The graphics are insanely realistic. I mean, it cannot get any more realistic than this. You get the 5 senses as like your graphics, and it's so immersive to the point where sometimes you even forget it's just a game. Like, you're just gonna play the shit and you're gonna die and it's gonna be over soon, right? You get so immersed in the problems we face in our daily life to the point where you forget, like, bro, you just start this shit and you're gonna die, and like nothing really matters, So just enjoy while you're here. The developer is unknown. We don't know who created this. Maybe it's God, maybe it's just random code, which is the fucking laws of physics or whatever. But whoever made this or whatever made this, it's insane. It's so perfect. This shit is so fucking beautiful. And when you die in this game, it's permadeath. There's no respawning, there's no coming back, which actually, increases the stakes. So this is not to scare you, but it's actually like to give you meaning and to give the game meaning, When there is a risk, we are more engaged with the activity. We take it more seriously, It's more meaningful, and the emotions are very, very strong and immersive. And the rules of the games, there is only one rule, or like one set of rules. It's just physics, right? These are the only laws that exist in the game. It's not actually like, when you think about it, like morality doesn't actually exist. You can kill someone and nothing is stopping you from doing that. You can today grab a knife and kill somebody. Nothing is stopping. There's no law, there's no rule in the game that says you cannot do this. Now, the law that we set, right, as humans, says that you cannot do that. Obviously, otherwise you will get punished. But objectively speaking, like in real life, nothing stops you from doing that, right? So the only laws really are just physics, right? If you jump off a building, you're gonna drop, right? So you gotta understand physics, you gotta understand how the world works, and some of these rules. Isaac Newton had a law. I think it's the second one, which is for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. That doesn't just apply to forces; it applies to everything you do. So if you take an action, basically you gotta pay. If you want a result, you gotta pay the price. You gotta take the action. And when you take an action, your effort isn't just wasted. There is an equal and opposite reaction. It's a rule in the game. And so we gotta understand all of these rules to be able to take advantage of them. Because if you don't understand the rules, there's no point in playing the game. It's so bad when you don't understand how the world works. It's so fucking bad. Honestly, I suffered for so long, for so much, because I simply didn't know how the brain works. Which is the next section actually of this video, is the controller and settings. In every video game we play, right? We have a controller to be able to move our character. And so what do you think is the controller in the game of life? It's your brain. It's your brain. It's the nervous system. And the nervous system, manipulates the body. It sends the signals, so that the body can move, right? So this is actually the craziest fucking controller you can have. It has like 1,000 trillion synapses, 80 billion neurons, and fucking, bro, 1,000 trillion. Do you know how much that is, bro? That's fucking insane. This is the best controller one can have, the coolest looking one, the craziest fucking thing you can ever have, right? It's this thing as a device to control. It's so fucking sick, bro. I swear, I get so insanely passionate when I speak about this. And it operates exactly like a controller. When you press a controller, what happens? When you press a button, the character moves in the video game, And it's the exact same thing here. When a specific part of the brain is active, the body moves. For example, like the motor cortex is responsible for the movement of the body. And then we have like dopamine for motivation, so that we can choose what to move, what to not. And anything that you do, which is something that you don't want to do, we can call it like a misinput, It's like when your body does something before your mind actually decides on it. So for example, addictions could be a misinput, It's like something you're doing, but you didn't intend to do it, And this is why you gotta get your controls right. You gotta get your settings right. So for example, like we have like brightness, Brightness could be literally like your mental brightness determines how clear or how light the world is going to be around you, because you see the world from your point of view, So if your point of view is bright, you see the world brighter and better emotions will happen, And the same with like your sensitivity, If you are more emotionally sensitive, you're going to rage quit, you're going to be more annoyed at things. But if you lower the sensitivity too much, right? You don't care anymore, and you become nihilistic, right? That's if you lower the sensitivity too much. But if you find like the good range, you become emotionally stable, you can move through the world perfectly, and all of those things. Also, we can think about like, for example, things like input lag, right? Where if you eat a shit diet, or you have poor sleep, you're feeling kind of sluggish, and you can't input properly, because when you have like an idea to act on something, you can't do it. You cannot do it because your body is so slow, it's so sluggish because of like a bad diet, or you drank alcohol, or you had poor sleep, and now you have zero motivation, and you can't, you're lagging IRL. You're lagging. Bro, what the hell are these eyebrows? I swear I got the thickest eyebrows ever, bro. Bro, I just realized this shit. What the fuck are these eyebrows? Anyway, let's talk about the next section of classes and character. And this is where it starts getting very, very fucking exciting. So just like in games, you hop in a game, you pick, like your character, like warrior, I don't know, mage, rogue, or any of that. It's the exact same thing here. And in life, like the classes are nearly infinite, and you can even create new classes. You can even create new characters and things that didn't exist previously, which is the beautiful thing about this, is that it really has no limits, and the complexity and the things you can do are literally infinite. We're gonna talk about like the possibilities in the next section, right? But in the classes section, you can imagine like warriors, for example, IRL, as like the people who were like military, or policemen or monks or people, who put in a lot of effort, or like athletes, they put in a lot of effort into like their physique, into their body, their mind, and they become like very strong. They have like a strength build. Mages could be like, for example, people who understand physics, people who understand like neuroscience, people who build like very smart machines, like inventors, and all of these, like Nikola Tesla, for example. That guy is a fucking electrical mage, bro. He built the insanest machines ever, and oh my days, the amount of things you can do is actually insane. You can imagine like healers, right? There's the class of healers who are like doctors, who are psychiatrists, psychologists, all of these people who help others heal up. Like most video games, this is the thing that people don't understand, is that video games are inspired by real life. Every inspiration we get is from this world. Every idea we get is from this world. So when you see an idea in video games, it mostly comes from real life, and the exact same thing can be applied in real life, and you can get the exact same emotions. Because I strongly believe in this idea, right? You are not born with a desire to get diamond in League of Legends, for example, right? You are born with a desire to get diamond. You are born with a desire to rank up. You are born with a desire to improve, to collect resources and to team up with other players and fight other players. You're born with these desires, but you're not born with a desire to play video games. You're not born with a desire to play a game. Yet we spent, at least for me, I spent at least 10k hours into video games. This is because we have these strong desires, and these desires were meant to be satisfied by real life, not by the fucking game. Like, what? Bro, we literally got scammed. Isn't that the biggest scam ever? That's literally a scam. It gives you the emotion, but you don't get the reward. Like, you pay the effort, you put in the effort, you put in the time, and you get the emotion, but you don't get paid. You don't get the reward IRL. You don't get the bitches. You don't get the friends. You don't get the fucking money. You don't get any of that shit, which is why you're doing what you're doing. You're doing that so that you can get those resources and those connections with other people. And you get like mastery over yourself as well. What? I swear, video games are the biggest scam ever. Now, the next idea that I wanted to talk about is skill trees and stats. In this game, there are, like I said, infinite skills, infinite possibilities. Bro, if you want to build a house, you can. If you want to like dig the earth, you can. If you want to build a company, you can. If you want to build a group of people, you can. If you want to learn how to talk, you can. You can unlock literally new areas on the map. You can improve the skill of communication so that you unlock new people that you can communicate to, which previously you couldn't. Like, do you see all of these ideas in video games? They are literally IRL. They literally all come from real life. And the items you can use, bro, holy fuck. I remember I watched a video not long ago. It shows like how small the CPU is. And my mind was so fucking blown. I'll play the video. And bro, as I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, dude, this thing is between your hands right now. This thing that you're looking at is in your hands. The video compared it to like a human hair. And I was thinking to myself, bro, we can manipulate this. We can manipulate things to the smallest level. Do you know how much power that is? How fucking insane that is? It's the same thing with the space travel. Do you know how big the universe is? Do you know how small Earth is? And yet at the same time, how massive it is compared to us. Another crazy thing about this game of life is the clans, the guilds, and the players in it. So I seriously don't believe that everyone is a player. I think there are a lot of fucking NPCs. And if you were to define an NPC, right? An NPC is a non-playable character. And a non-playable character is someone without a goal. It's someone who's not playing the game, If you have a goal, you're playing, you're moving towards that direction, because that's what a definition of the game is. It's when a human sets a goal and there is potential success or failure. You apply that definition to any game, and it works, right? It's a universal definition, and if the person doesn't have something to achieve or something they want, then I seriously believe it's a bot. Like it's actually an NPC. It's not even a real person, you know. But for the 10% of people who have goals, the 10% of people who are ambitious and they have moving towards somewhere, even if that place is bad, like compared to others, you know, or like even if it's not that good, or even if it's bad for society, they are still players. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is them having a direction and moving towards that direction, you know. And the beautiful thing about this game is that you can play it competitive and you can play it solo as well. So it's up to you, honestly. It's an optional choice. But you know how in most video games you play, it's like you either have to compete or you have to go full solo. Like, you know, Elden Ring, all of that shit, solo mode and all of that. Genshin Impact is the same thing. Those are the game I played. And then you have competition, which is Fortnite and Brawlhalla for me. I played those a lot more, so I'm personally more of a competitive guy, you know. But honestly, you have the choice. If you want to compete, you can. If you don't want to compete, you also can. You can just do art. You can do dancing. You can build a community. You can build like a charity, you know, where you're not competing with anyone. You're just helping people, you know. It's up to you. It's really up to you. And this is the beautiful thing. And honestly, for me, when I think about communities, the best thing that I want to do, I want to build like a community, right? I want to build two things, right? So you remember the classes that I talked about? Honestly, if I were to pick a class, it would be probably like a builder. You know, I like building stuff. I like building systems, and I would like to build a product. So the second thing is like, I guess, entrepreneur or like a leader, right? So a polymath, I want to be a polymath, you know, to learn a lot, and I want to be a leader as well. So I want to build a game. I want to make this thing right into a real thing, into actually like a playable game that you download, and it tracks all of your progress. It tracks your goal. There's a map, and it's, you know, linked with a real life map. You know, the real world map, and this is like the game, right? And on the other side, I also want to build like a community. I want to build a group of people, a clan, an org, whatever you want to call it, organization, you know, where I get the smartest people on fucking earth who are obsessed about evolution, who are obsessed about improvement and getting better and maximizing everything in their life, you know? And then slowly but surely grow that group, grow it, and imagine like it becomes a whole ass fucking country or some shit. That would be fucking sick, man. That's like a crazy vision that I have, and I would honestly would like to have it, you know. And just like with any other game, this game has good and bad players. For me personally, when I look at a good player, it shows me what's possible. You know, it shows me that what's doable in this game, what is achievable, because that person is a human fucking being just like me, right? I never set limitation on myself or set like limiting beliefs or think that I cannot do what that person did. I believe I can do anything. So, you know, you gotta have like big balls for that. But there are also bad players, right? And a lot of people, they think that when they see like a good player, like, I don't know, a fucking millionaire or a billionaire, they think they're evil or they're scammers or they're liars or they're this, or they see a politician and they're like, oh, politicians are the most evil people. No, just say he's a powerful guy who is smart, who knows what he's doing. That's why he's got to that position. Why are you like jealous or judgmental of a successful person, right? You know? Instead of doing that, why don't you ask how did they get there, or what did they do to get there, you know, so that you can learn from them and perhaps get like the same results, you know. I never really understood people who judge like good players, you know. Even when I was back in Fortnite days, there was this guy I think called Raider 4464 or something like that. I forgot his name, but basically he was extremely fast at editing. You know, he would edit walls super, super fast. And this guy probably dedicated thousands of hours into practice for that skill, you know. And people in the comments, they're like, oh, you have like an auto clicker or macro or whatever it's called, right? They're basically saying, oh, you're a cheater, you're cheating, you're not even editing that fast, it's impossible. Bro, what? But grow some fucking balls, grow some belief in yourself, and think that you can do it. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the map and quests. So just like how in games, honestly, when you again when you think about it this way, it actually gets so much better. Life starts feeling so exciting, and I need to build this. I need to build this into an actual product where people actually buy it and enjoy it. It's an open world, like we said, insane, ridiculous, disgusting fucking size. So there is the early game, there's the mid game, and there is the end game, right? Most people don't even make it to the end game. So the early game is like your childhood, where you were born, how you grew up, and all of that. And there is not much freedom, but it's more about like learning. It's the same with every single game I played, honestly. At the start, you are the worst, and you just need to learn so much stuff, right? And then we have the mid game. So this is like your 20s, your 30s, maybe, where your goal is to like start gaining some stability, get a job, maybe study, go to school. Maybe it's like time to buy a house. You're becoming like an adult, you're starting to have like responsibilities, and maybe you will travel the world here and there. And then there is the end game. So the end game is actually only unlocked or only possible if you put in the effort. If you actually play the game and you put in the effort, you get to the end game. It's the same with every single game I played. The only people who reach the end game and the only people who reach the higher level are the one who have put in the most amount of hours, right? So if you don't put in the effort, it's impossible to get to this level. And the end game is where you have unlocked all the possibilities. The end game is where you can do anything you want, wherever you want, whenever you want. It's like when you have financial freedom and now you can build a project of, for example, I saw Jeff Napad, yeah? This guy is a bodybuilder and he built his own gym, his own scientific gym, so that he can run scientific experiments, and he recorded the entire fucking thing. He recorded the entire building or of his gym, his machines, his tools, his computers, and all of these things, just so that he can build better muscles. See, that's end game. Same thing with Mr. Beast and shit, bro. This guy spends like $500,000 on one YouTube video. That's end game. See, like Elon Musk, we're going to Mars, to another planet. That's end game. You're building a whole ass fucking machine, a whole ass, big ass fucking rocket, so that you can get into it, get people into it, and leave the whole Earth. What? What? This guy's unlocking a whole ass new fucking DLC, bro. What the fuck? And the end game doesn't really have to be about money or big, massive achievements. It can be you by yourself. It can be you building like this very specific tool or this very new invention or this new machine. Or maybe you build like your own house, like for example, like a tree house. Like there are people who have built a tree house. Maybe you can build like an underground house or underground lab or some shit, and you can do like private crazy shit in there, bro. Dude, the amount, like I said, like the possibilities are endless, and it's up to you to decide. Like I'm just giving suggestions here, but for everyone it's different. Everyone likes different things, and everyone likes doing different things. So you just gotta like let your imagination grow and set the goal and set the vision and just start moving in that direction. Don't take my word for it. Don't like take your parents' word for it. Do what you want to fucking do. And then finally, the last final section is the lore and the story, right? So you can build your own story, and every single player's story is different from the other one. Everyone got a unique story, and there is no pre-scripts, there is no fucking NPCs, there is no fucking pre-recordings or any of that shit. Everyone gets a different ending, a specific, unique ending. Imagine that. How insane that is. And then there's also like history, and it grows. It continues to grow. So we have the lore. Right? The previous one, like all the stories, all the myths, all the lies, all the true stories that happened in the past, and we have the story that is happening right now. So maybe we will be like the first humans to witness like people landing on Mars, or or maybe we will be the first humans to have a nuclear fucking war, World War III. Or maybe we'll be the first humans to witness like the discovery of consciousness or the understanding of consciousness, or all of the there could be like some very big fucking things that may happen here in the future. I saw a guy in the comments the other day, and he said he said quantum mechanics and AI will either give us utopia or Resident Evil with nothing in between. And I agree with that so much. Like the future we have right now, like our generation is gonna witness one of the craziest things ever. We're either gonna go on an insane rise or a fat big drop. And it's going to be exciting anyway. I swear to God, if a fucking atomic bomb drops tomorrow, I'm gonna laugh so hard, man. I just think that's funny as fuck. I don't know why. I might be crazy. Maybe I'm not gonna think that when the bomb drops, but either way, I think whatever this fucking game is fucking insane. It's fucking crazy, bro. Only if you approach it from the right point of view, okay? So that was it for this video. Hopefully, in the future, I'm gonna start developing this game, and turning it into a real fucking product, a real thing that people can get and use, because me myself, I'm currently, building a system for action taking. And one of the things that I learned is the reward. The reward is so, 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 so important. If you don't reward yourself and if you don't see progress, you're not going to continue. And gamification is one of the best ways to hack the reward system in the brain. So that's something I really want to get into and master. Okay, so yeah, that was it for this video. Yeah, tell me what you think about it. Tell me in the comments if there are any other videos or any other ideas that you have that you want me to make. Tell me what you think of the outfit. Does it not look cool? Does it not look sick? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? You're a fucking man. You're a grown ass man, bro. What are you doing? I'm enjoying life, bro. Let me be. I swear. Let me fucking be. Anyway, bye bye.